What my office and the state of Nevada is attempting to do to make your life easier and more beneficial and successful in the state of Nevada. So if you recall, early in I issued an executive order that addressed business regulations, business ordinances, and occupational licensing. I believe the state had lost its way. The state no longer understood that their mission was to be a service agency. And so we had to make some significant changes. And I don't want anybody in here to misconstrue my comments as the people that work for the state of Nevada are bad people. It's fantastic people. But unfortunately, we have gotten away from it, directly related to the previous administration. It's directly related to previous administrations. And in my opinion, as your governor, it's completely involving service. You have to have somebody to talk to in person in a time of need. You have to have an understanding of what the process is and what the requirements is in order to open a business, in order to function within the state government and be successful. I thought I had the authority to say, well, that don't work, let's just get rid of it. That doesn't work that way. We're in that process. I don't want anybody to be frustrated. He said this and it's not happening. Yes, it is happening. It's all part of the process. It's like turning a cruise ship. It's very difficult. I believe we were on a majority of success. So I had directly presented 5 separate bills under my name that I thought was important to me, and it was part of the promises I made throughout the campaign. In particular to education, in particular to the business environment, and in particular to criminal justice reform. And one additional item would be election reform. But election reform did not receive a hearing. And no matter how you feel about it, I think it's important for us to feel confident in our election system. And I think there's necessary changes that need to take place for us to accomplish that. So then we made it through the legislature. It's retroactive versus proactive in that space. They have to produce before they receive funds associated with what they're trying to achieve there. So the important piece of the state government is education, economy, and the environment. And so recently we had to deal with some crisis situations, with the Hurricane Hillary. What an appropriate name. But it's true, they're going to get significant more rainfall up in the Mount Charleston area here in the next 2 days, and we'll continue to address that as we move forward. I have confidence in the individual legislators. I truly believe they tried to pass policies and laws that were detrimental to the state just because I'm a Republican governor. And that's the unfortunate piece of the state of affairs in the political world in the United States currently. And so I did my due diligence, and we ensured that bad legislation and bad government did not pass my desk. And it's overwhelming that you get put in that position. So just to give you some semblance of the understanding of the legislative process, so it's a 120-day process. It's so screwed up, it requires 1,200 bills to be submitted every 2 years. Eventually, 613 bills hit my desk. And so I have to individually read each one of those along with my competent staff, and we decide whether we're going to sign it or veto it. So that's the process. And then now you're wondering what my priorities are between now and the next session. And one of them in particular, and near and dear to me, is education. Because education is the core of everything we do in society. So the original stance on that was the presentation of $2 billion additional dollars into the education budget. If we don't pay them appropriately, they're not going to come, right? Yeah. Our county school district is suffering 1,400 plus vacancies for teachers. First point in that process is making sure that the per pupil funding is commensurate to a successful education experience. And 2, in my mind, is school choice. And hopefully we affect some positive change in the rankings and the polling and the education of our children moving forward. So that's my primary goal between now and then. And then there's some other ancillary things that we're going to work on as far as regulation and taxation and things like that we could hopefully make our business environment continue to be better through the process. And one of the things I'm most proud of is I didn't increase your taxes. So I believe our economic engine is prospering because we finally got through the crisis mentality. Since January of this year, we have done a $5 billion of investment into the business economy in the state of Nevada. But if you do not expand, you die. So as your governor, I'm going to do everything within the state government's ability and my ability to ensure that we prosper into the future. Thank you.